Stop! Dee Dee is... Oh, it's a Jack. Dee Dee's singing Lion King for some reason. Alright. I'm gonna post this. View on YouTube. Yep. Facebook. Wizard Rock Revival. I think we're live. Okay, what else? Live on the Slack. And where is my thing? For Discord. Listening parties. Happening now. Okay, that's Discord. I need Twitter. Listening party. Tweet. Tweet. All right, Twitter and another Facebook. What else? Where else do I need to post this? Ooh. Join us live for second sea shanty listening party. Link. Post. Ah! Okay. I think that is everything, hopefully. All right. Cool. See, Jeff and Zoe and Ian are here. Hi, Ian. I'm really excited that you're here because I can't get over your song. It's so good. And I can't wait for everybody to be like, who is this person that came out of nowhere? I'm very excited. Okay, I'm gonna... Ugh. So tired. Probably gonna give everybody a couple minutes to get here. Oh yeah, I should post this on my Patreon also. Link. Paste link. What is this called? Hut on the Rock 2. Shanties from the Shack. Listening party. Join us live. Or don't. Up to you. Technically a live stream? Alright. That is done. Yay. Yeah, we'd love to have you for literally anything, Ian, because it's so good. Okay. So, today we are celebrating the release of Hut on the Rock 2 Shanties from the Shack. We have 14 submissions. 3 have the word butterbeer in the title, which is pretty cool. Lots of them are based on traditional shanties, which is really cool. What else? Oh, we have 2 songs about Odo the hero. It's a good time all around. It's pretty great. Yeah, and then we've got Christy Roberts did the album cover for both of them, actually, for the first one and for this one, which is amazing. So, yeah. I think we're gonna get started. So my for those of you that are new, my usual thing is that I'll put the lyrics up on the screen so that you can read along as we listen. So we're just gonna dive right in. So the first one is by a bunch of different people, but Dream Quaffle, who's Jeff, hi Jeff, organized it. And so a bunch of, oh man, it doesn't show you in the draft who all the people are, but all the people are listed when, like, in the info part of it when it comes out. So yeah, it's by the House Elf Tavern Choir, organized by Dream Quaffle. So here we go. I'm gonna mute myself. Here we go.
Oh, my mistress comes from the House of Black.
Pour me a butterbeer and make it fast.
Her boy is gone and he won't come back.
'Tis strong for a house elf, sir.
And my new master's a piece of trash.
Pour me a butterbeer and make it fast.
So I'll take my butterbeer in a glass.
'Tis strong for a house elf, sir. All day and night I'll throw 'em back. Pour me a butterbeer and make it fast. Though it ain't as strong as an Irish stout, 'tis strong for a house elf, sir.
Oh, Mr. Crouch was a friend to me.
Pour me a butterbeer and make it fast.
And I gave my life to his family.
'Tis strong for a house elf, sir.
But he took my job and I got the sack.
Pour me a butterbeer and make it fast.
Now the butterbeer is all I have.
'Tis strong for a house elf, sir. All day and night I'll throw 'em back. Pour me a butterbeer and make it fast. Though it ain't as strong as an Irish stout, 'tis strong for a house elf, sir.
Well, I made my living for a woman named Smith.
Pour me a butterbeer and make it fast.
Didn't look like much, but she sure was rich.
'Tis strong for a house elf, sir.
Till a pale young man came and robbed us blind.
Pour me a butterbeer and make it fast.
So I drink that butterbeer all the time.
'Tis strong for a house elf, sir. All day and night I'll throw 'em back. Pour me a butterbeer and make it fast. Though it ain't as strong as an Irish stout, 'tis strong for a house elf, sir.
Them Malfoys kept me mighty low.
Pour me a butterbeer and make it fast.
Had an evil plan till I said no.
'Tis strong for a house elf, sir.
And now we toast to our victory.
Pour me a butterbeer and make it fast.
'Cause the Potter boy went and set me free.
'Tis strong for a house elf, sir. All day and night I'll throw 'em back. Pour me a butterbeer and make it fast. Though it ain't as strong as an Irish stout, 'tis strong for a house elf, sir.
Yay! Yay! So that was awesome. I was part of that, and I had a lot of fun being a part of that, the House Elf Choir. So it was very fun. Next up, we've got Potterhead all the way from Germany. This is Sail with a Wizard.
Has anybody seen my beer? No? Solid. Anyway, this next song is called Sail with a Wizard. If I were stranded on an island at sea, with no one but Karkaroff there with me, then I would help him to build us a ship. Then he'd sail away on his own with it, so it's no, nay, never. No, nay, never, no more will I sail with a wizard. No, never, no more. If I were stranded on an island at sea, with no one but Ron Weasley there with me. We'd perish right there, you know it is true. 'Cause without Hermione, what could he do? So it's no, nay, never. No, nay, never, no more will I sail with a wizard. No, never, no more. One more time. If I were stranded on an island at sea, with no one but Voldemort there with me, then I would be doomed, because I'm sure that he would try to make a Horcrux by murdering me. So it's no, nay, never. No, nay, never, no more will I sail with a wizard. No, never, no more. If I were stranded on an island at sea, with no one but Severus Snape there with me, then he would make potions alcoholic and sweet, that we would be drinking out there on the beach. We'll be drunk, drunk, drunker, all day and all night. Let me sail with a wizard, and I'll be alright. We'll be drunk, drunk, drunken, all day and all night. Let me sail with a wizard, and I'll be alright. Drunker, thanks. And it's all for the rock, the jolly, jolly rock. It's all for the fans of Harry Potter. See, I spent only 10 in the house of Slytherin. Far across the western ocean I must wander. I'm sick in the head and I haven't been to bed. Since first I read the books of Harry Potter.
All right, so one of my favorite traditional Irish songs is It's All For Me Grog, and I lost my mind when I first listened to that. I was like, oh, and they transitioned into that. Oh my God. It was amazing. Yeah, I second that, Sagan. I also want a whole song of It's All For the Rock, the Jolly Jolly Rock. It's all for the fans of Harry Potter. So good. So many comps. All right. Mermanda's here. Yay. We're going to go into another song that has multiple singers in it, and I was also a part of this, and it was very fun. This is by Ian O'Donnell. Goodbye, Mrs. Umbridge.
Before you came to Hogwarts, our lot was laughs and skylarks. But then when you turned up, the world went right to shite. And though you've tried to haunt us, you never more will daunt us. We'll tolerate no bullies, we'll stand up for what's right. Goodbye, Mrs. Umbridge, you really are the worst witch. You can't pretend to niceness, we've all seen your black heart. Sure, you can't control us, we don't care what the toll is. Instead of learning your rubbish, we'll be fighting the dark arts. Your power, thirst unsated, you're collectively well hated. and everyone but Filchi has plotted your demise. You've no redeeming features, you hate all sorts of creatures. I think of something nice to say, but I must not tell lies. Goodbye, Mrs. Umbridge, you really are the worst witch. You can't pretend to niceness, we've all seen your black heart. I'm sure you can't control us, we don't care what the toll is. Instead of learning your rubbish, we'll be fighting the dark arts. Though you're smug and smarmy, we are Dumbledore's army. We all cheered for the centaurs when they were dragging you away. Your decrees are finished, from Hogwarts you are banished. And with that good riddance, we joyfully will say, goodbye, Mrs. Umbridge, you really are the worst witch. You can't pretend to niceness, we've all seen your black heart. Are sure you can't control us, we don't care what the toll is. Instead of learning rubbish, we'll be fighting the dark arts. Oh, goodbye, Mrs. Umbridge, you really are the worst witch. You can't pretend to niceness, we've all seen your black heart. Are sure you can't control us, we don't care what the toll is. Instead of learning your rubbish, we'll be fighting the dark arts.
"99 butters of beer on the wall, 99 butters of beer. Take one down, it's slippery as fuck, 98 butters of beer on the wall."
All right, I had to let that one play just afterwards because it's so short, but it's so good. I actually played the ukulele for that one. So yeah, my all-time favorite line in the first one that we listened to is, "I think of something nice to say, but I must not tell lies." That is my absolute, like, what a line to come up with. But yeah, so the second one we listened to was another one called Butterbeer, and that was by Slither Spouse, who just put out like 2 albums recently, I think it was. I haven't listened to the second one yet. But yeah, so that was a very fun little project to work on, and I was like, can I please include this in the second comp, because it was really fun. And they were like, yes. I'm like, yeah, awesome. All right. Yeah, so then as a very stark contrast, we now have a 9-minute song from Dots and Lines, which is Zoe. Hi, Zoe. Yes, Slither Spouse is the one with the 2-minute album. That is correct. Yeah, it's amazing. So we're going to go to the first song about Odo the Hero by Dots and Lines.
There once was a young man called Odo the Odd. In a small Muggle town he was born. He was known for his garb, always worn wrong way around, and his way with all those feathered furred or skilled. Odo, if only we knew you, as Odo the hero you were. He could call any beast with a wave of his wand, without even a word they'd approach. The villagers thought him a strange fairy lad, and Odo did earn their reproach. As a lad, Odo wandered the forest and field. In the dark Underhill was a flame, a dragon's domain where the warrens all wind. Soon familiar as home it became. Odo, if only we knew you, as Odo the hero you were. Over the years Odo made few a friend, for the village had made up its mind. Every caste disagreed and liked Odo indeed, for they saw that our Odo was kind. Odo, if only we knew you, as Odo the hero you were. The village was led by one Baldric the Bold, whose deeds and whose charm won acclaim. Always quick to impress, Baldric never did rest, and a dragon to slay was his aim. Odo, if only we knew you, as Odo the hero you were. One fine summer's morn, when the dew had all dried, our Odo set off up the hill. When the sun came back down, he returned to the town, and was greeted with more than a chill. Odo, if only we knew you, as Odo the hero you were. The houses had burned in the course of the day, and the townsfolk had someone to blame. A dragon had visited wrath on them all, and their thoughts turned to only one name. Odo, if only we knew you, as Odo the hero you were. To Odo they cried, you have ruined us all, but Odo he paid them no heed. He followed the wake of the dragon at once, for the beast must have been in great need. Odo, if only we knew you, as Odo the hero you were. His feet found the ashes and embers that led to a scene much to Odo's dismay. The dragon and Baldric were sword against scale, so brave Odo stepped into the fray. Odo, if only we knew you, as Odo the hero you were. He cast to disarm foolish Baldric the Bold, as the townsfolk who followed looked on. The dragon was scared, but kind Odo he dared to comfort his friend from there on. Odo, if only we knew you, as Odo the hero you were. Odo the sand, which out in the forest he led. The dragon did settle and then out away, back into the hills did return. Oh, if only we knew you, as Odo the hero you were. But Baldric recovered his sword in a rage, and swung out at Odo instead. Ere Odo could act, his wand it was cracked, and Odo himself he was dead. Odo, if only we knew you, as Odo the hero you were. And Odo the hero, they bore him back home, to the place that he'd known as the lad. They laid him to rest with his hat inside out, and his wand snapped in two, which was sad. Odo, if only we knew you, as Odo the hero you were.
All right, so those dots and lines with our first Odo the Hero song. It's very exciting. This next one you will recognize if you are a fan or have ever watched, what's it called? Whose Line Is It Anyway? Where everything's made up and the points don't matter. This one is by Dream Quaffle, and it is the Hogsmeade Irish drinking song. The thing that I really like about this one is that Jeff improvised all of the lines and then recorded the whole thing and then wrote it down to then record again so that it didn't sound like choppy, and I just really think that that's absolutely brilliant. So without further ado, here is Dream Quaffle's Hogsmeade Irish drinking song.
We're going down to Hogsmeade. We're going on a trip. We're buying lots of candy. Ain't life a pip? We're gonna have a drink there when we get to the pub. We might have some whiskey. We might just fall in love. Oh, I-dee-di-dee-di-dee-di-dee-di-dee-di-dee-di. Oh, look, there's Rosmerta. She's looking mighty fine. And if we ask her nicely, she might give us some wine. I asked her for a drink, a shot of fire whiskey. She broke my nose. I had to use a pisky. Oh, I-dee-di-dee-di-dee-di-dee-di-dee-di-dee-di. Well, now what should we do? We could go somewhere else. We could go to the Hog's Head. I hear it kinda smells. I hear the owner's cranky. He's tough, but he's fair. But will he check if we're of age? I don't really care. Oh, hi-dee-di-dee-di-dee-di-dee-di-dee-di-dee-di. We got our fire whiskey. We drank it down in one. We started feeling funny. We weren't having any fun. Our insides are on fire. It hurts when we laugh, 'cause fire shoots right out my nose and shoots right out my ass. Oh, hi-dee-di-dee-di-dee-di-dee-di-dee-di-dee-di. Oh, hi-dee-di-dee-di-dee-di-dee-di.
All right, it was just incredible. That last line gets me every time. All right, the next one is the first of 2 submissions from Potter Watch on this album. So get ready for that. This one is the like fun extra that they sent me afterwards, and they were like, I don't know if this is cool, but like we thought it was funny, so here you go. And I was like, it's hilarious. So enjoy. If spoiler alert, I am going to put the lyrics up, but I highly recommend not reading ahead. And I know that's very difficult for some people, but trust me, it's going to be worth it. Here we go.
My mother is a harpy's beater. She beats off bludgers. My father is a beater's spouse. He beats off bludgers. My sister is a beater's daughter. She beats off bludgers. My brother is a beater's son. He beats off.
I couldn't not include that song. It was so funny. So funny. Oh, goodness gracious. All right, the next one up does not have a like band title because it's me. I realized that too late and I need to probably edit that, but whatever. Anyway, oh, hi, Dad. You came in a great time. Anyway, so the next one is from me. It's called The Riddle House, and this is all about the first chapter of the fourth book. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Where it's like, Frank Bryce, the gardener, worked at the Riddle House for blah, blah, blah. And you're like, what is happening? Like, why? What? Where's Harry? So I wanted to, I've been rereading, well, I reread all the books for my minor characters project. And there's this one part in that chapter where they're like, yeah, the local pub, which is called the Hanged Man, they talk like, the cook bursts in and she's like, Frank just got arrested and all this stuff. And I was like, oh man, could you imagine like the Hanged Man and there's like a bard and he hears this story and he writes it down and like performs it. So this is like the bard version of like the story of the Riddle House at the Hanged Man. So I hope you enjoy. Here at the Hanged Man, I'll tell you the tale of the old Riddle House that stands high on a hill, a fine-looking manor in its glory days. Now is boarded up, creepy, a decrepit old grave. One summer morning, not 50 years past, the maid had found something that made her aghast. The whole Riddle family sitting right there, dead in the drawing room, blank empty stares. How did they die and who was arrested? Frank Bryce, the gardener, the house cook attested. Frank had seen awful things during the war. He had the only spare key to their door. The local police were very confused. It seemed like no weapon or poison was used. But what then had caused them to take their last breath? It seemed as though they had been frightened to death. Since there was no proof that they had been killed, Frank was released and no charge was billed. Even though people still thought it was him, he stayed at the manor and kept the grass trimmed, until one night he was woken by pain. His bad leg was almost driving him insane. He looked out the window at the Riddle house. He saw a fire he needed to douse. Surely the local boys were causing trouble. Using his walking stick went on the double, up to the old house using the key. He'd not be ready for what he would see, taking the creaky stairs one at a time. He was an old man and well past his prime. Stopping outside of the room they were in, he heard the intruders discussing within. Wormtail and Muggle and Quidditch World Cup. These were the words that made Frank look up. Surely his hearing was the cause of this, but then right behind him he heard a soft kiss. Frank paralyzed, the snake slithered by, hissing and looking right into his eye. Passing by, Frank went into the room where only a fire could light up the gloom. The strangers invited him into the space where Frank hobbled in and was frozen in place. Looking at the dreaded thing in the chair, he never found out how they'd gotten in there. For a flash of green light and a scream from his lungs, his last dying thought was he wished for a gun. For old Frank was dead before he hit the floor, and the Riddle House gardener was seen nevermore. Yay! That was me. The next one is by my partner, Didi, aka Hasitharin. He reached out to me at some point and he messaged me and he said, "Babe, I have an idea for your next sea shanty comp." And I was like, that's my love language! So, yeah, get excited for this one because he did this in one take, which I don't understand how. Very strange. But anyway, it's based on a traditional Irish song called Rattlin' Bog, which is like a classic that we sing at camp all the time. So we get to hear the Harry Potter version of Rattlin' Bog, which is Wompin Willow by Hasitharin.
Oh, row the Wompin Willow, the willow down in Hogwarts, oh. Oh, row the Wompin Willow, the willow down in Hogwarts, oh. And on the grounds there was a willow, a were-willow, a Wompin Willow, the willow on the grounds of the grounds down in the Hogwarts, oh. Oh, row the Wompin Willow, the willow down in Hogwarts, oh. Oh, row the Wompin Willow, the willow down in Hogwarts, oh. And on that willow there was a limb, a rare limb, a Wompin limb, the limb on the willow and the willow on the grounds of the grounds down in the Hogwarts, oh. Oh, row the Wompin Willow, the willow down in Hogwarts, oh. Oh, row the Wompin Willow, the willow down in Hogwarts, oh. And on that limb there was a branch, a rare branch, a Wompin branch, branch on the limb, and the limb on the willow, and the willow on the grounds, and the grounds down in the Hogwarts. Oh, row the Wompin Willow, the willow down in Hogwarts. Oh, row the Wompin Willow, the willow down in Hogwarts. And on that branch there was a fist, a rare fist, a Wompin fist, the fist on the branch, and the limb, and the limb on the willow, and the willow on the grounds, and the grounds down in the Hogwarts. Oh, row the Wompin Willow, the willow down in Hogwarts. Oh, row the Wompin Willow, the willow down in Hogwarts. And on that fist there was a ford, a rare ford, an Anglia ford, ford on the fist on the branch, of the limb, and the limb on the willow, and the willow on the grounds down in the Hogwarts. Oh, row the Wompin Willow, the willow down in Hogwarts. Oh, row the Wompin Willow, the willow down in Hogwarts. And in that ford there was a Potter, a rare Potter, a Harry Potter, Potter in the ford, and the fist, and the branch, and the limb, and the limb on the willow, and the willow on the grounds down in the Hogwarts. Oh, row the Wompin Willow, the willow down in Hogwarts. Oh, row the Wompin Willow, the willow down in Hogwarts. And on that Potter there was some hair, a rare hair, ever-growing hair, the hair on the Potter, and the ford, and the fist, and the branch, and the limb, the willow, and the willow on the grounds down in the Hogwarts. Oh, row the Wompin Willow, the willow down in Hogwarts. Oh, row the Wompin Willow, the willow down in Hogwarts. And in that hair there was a scar, a rare scar, a lightning scar, scar on the hair, and the Potter, and the ford, and the fist, and the branch, and the limb, and the willow, and the grounds down in the Hogwarts. Oh, row the Wompin Willow, the willow down in Hogwarts. Oh, row the Wompin Willow, the willow down in Hogwarts. And in that scar there was a soul, a rare soul, Tom Riddle's soul. The soul and the scar, and the hair, and the Potter, and the ford, and the fist, and the branch, and the limb, and the willow, and the grounds down in the Hogwarts. Oh, row the Wompin Willow, the willow down in Hogwarts. Oh, row the Wompin Willow, the willow down in Hogwarts. Oh, row the Wompin Willow, the willow down in Hogwarts. Oh, row the Wompin Willow, the willow down in Hogwarts.
Oh my gosh. So good. There's so many things about that song that are just incredible. Like the reference to ever-growing hair, like when Petunia tries to cut it as a kid and it just keeps growing back, and like the Anglia Ford, it's just so good. Yeah, and he plays that, well, the original song for like his job, like teaching kids all the time. So he's pretty good at it, which I'm like, how did you do that in one take? Like that was incredible. So anyway, next up we have Candle Wicks with Blast Ended Scroot, which is another song where it's a collab between a ton of people, including me. I think I was on all the collabs for this one, or at least most of them. But this one is from Hagrid's point of view, and it's about the Blast Ended Scroot. So I hope you enjoy, because I sure did. Here we go.
Gather round, everyone. I want to sing a little ditty about one of my favorite animals, the Blast-Ended Scroot. You don't mess with Blast-Ended Scroots. They're grumpy and they're non-binary. It's an old song that I heard many years ago. Feel free to add more verses after I'm done. Sing after me, folks. And a 1, and a 2, and a 3. Oh, the Blast-Ended Scroot don't give a damn.
Way, hey, and there she blows, boys.
They'll blast you all just as quick as they can.
They'll blow you all to hell, boys.
Don't you get too close to the stinger end.
Way, hey, and there she blows, boys.
Or your poor old leg twill never mend.
They'll sting you all to hell, boys.
And it's blast when you're happy and blast when you're sad.
Oh, what a fine life for the Blast-Ended Scroot.
Blasting for life, it ain't no fad.
Oh, what a fine life for the Blast-Ended Scroot.
Well, they fought with Harry, and the try was a task.
Way, hey, and there she blows, boys.
But they would have just blasted him if he'd asked.
They'll blow you all to hell, boys.
Because the Scroot can blast for days and days.
Way, hey, and there she blows, boys.
It could blast him straight to the center of the maze.
They'll help you win the cup, boys.
And it's blast when you're happy and blast when you're sad.
Oh, what a fine life for the Blast-Ended Scroot.
Blasting for life, it ain't no fad.
Oh, what a fine life for the Blast-Ended Scroot. And it's blast when you're happy and blast when you're sad. Oh, what a fine life for the Blast-Ended Scroot. Blasting for life, it ain't no fad. Oh, what a fine life screw.
Well, blast it all, folks. I do believe the Hogshead is closing down for the night.
So good. I love it so much. This whole, like, I'm so glad that I ended up doing a second one of these because every single song on this is just incredible. And, like, we're not even done yet. Like, there is still more, and it's amazing, and I can't wait for you to hear the rest of them. So, the next one is by Mermanda, who I believe is here, at least was here earlier. But this one is called The Sand Bar, which just that name by itself is so good. So good. All right, here we go.
Myrtle comes round for tea, but she doesn't bring biscuits nor hot water. She has brought us meat from the headmaster's private stock. There's a spot in the Great Lake where we can all eat tea cakes, gather round the sandbar. The mer people play the harp, sing along with the great billows, arm in arm in the undertow. Hey ho, hey ho, hey ho, hey ho, to the sandbar, let's go. Hey ho, hey ho, hey ho, hey ho, to the sandbar, let's go. The squid brings down gillyweed, it's distributed legally and homegrown. We also have things to eat from the basin of the sandbar. There's a spot in the Great Lake where we can all eat rock cakes, gather round the sandbar, spin billows, play guitar, sing along with the mermaids, fin to fin, anchor all day. Hey ho, hey ho, to the sandbar, let's go. Hey ho, hey ho, to the sandbar, let's go.
The backing track to that, the instrumentals and the sound of waves against the shore is just so good. So beautiful. So good. All right, anyway, moving on. All right, so up next we have another, actually I think this is the third Butterbeer song by the Faithful Sidekicks, and yeah, it's just about butterbeer, our favorite drink. Gourd flute. Oh my goodness. That's so cool. Harp. Yeah, I wish I could play harp. That's not one of the things I learned in music school. It's so cool. Yeah. Anyway, so let's head on to number 12. Oh, there he is in the background. Sneak peek at Hasitharan. All right, here we go with the Faithful Sidekicks.
You could drink a glass of pumpkin juice or a pint of Hogshead brew. You could even drink some Polly juice if you're tired of looking like you. You could drink fire whiskey by the dram or by the quart in Hagrid's case. But there's one sure drink that I like best to shove into my face. Give me big old buckets of butterbeer. Give me big old barrels of butterbeer. Give me the drink I love so dear. And another round for my friend right here of the sweet old butterbeer. Let's accu up a tankard. Drink down every drop, then give our wands a little wave and refill it to the top. For only 2 sickles more, you get a drink so smooth and sweet. And if you are not careful, it'll sweep you off your feet.
No broom required.
Give me big old buckets of butter beer. Give me big old barrels of butter beer. Give me the drink I love so dear. And another round for my friend right here with the sweet old butter beer. One day my little house elf got himself a butter beer. That sweet old drink went to his head and burned away his fear. He rampaged through Honeydew till he was tossed out by his ear.
Ow, ow, ow.
They found him hanging by his feet from a Hogwarts chandelier.
Woot, woot, it's time to party with Peeves.
Give me big old buckets of butter beer. Give me big old barrels of butter beer. Give me the drink I love so dear. And another round for my friend right here. Give me big old buckets of butter beer. Give me big old barrels of butter beer. Give me the drink I love so dear. And another round for my friend right here with the sweet old butter beer. Yes, more sweet old butter beer.
All right, we have 2 more songs to go, and I'm going to tell you now, I say this every live stream, but you're not ready for this, okay? Because there was this person that reached out to me, Ian Martin, who you've seen in the chat this whole time, and sorry, Ian, I didn't ask your pronouns. He, him, I'm assuming pronouns, I'm so sorry. Anyway, tell me if I'm right or not. Anyway, so Ian reached out to me and he was like, hey, could I submit a song for, this comp? And I was like, okay, thank you. And I was like, yeah, absolutely. And he submitted a song and I was listening to it and I was like, who is this person? And I went back and I looked up, previous comps and stuff. I'm like, I don't have this person's contact information. And so I reached out again and I was like, who are you? Where did you come from? And you'll see what I'm talking about because this song is incredible, y'all. It's so good. And I was like, hello, new wizard rocker on the scene out of nowhere. It is amazing. So I'm super happy to introduce the, I guess, Wizard Rock premiere of Ian Martin's song, I'm the Bloody Baron. Here we go. I'm so excited.
Nobility round 982, a protege of Slytherin who's known to me and you. One of the first of students who attended this fine school, gaining wizarding knowledge while learning all the rules. I chanced upon a fair maid named Helena Ravenclaw. My heart, it was befuddled against what you call the law. She rebuked all my advances and was clearly quite blasé, but I continue to look after her, oh, even to this day. I'm the Bloody Baron whom you see every day, haunting all the halls and making merriment and gay, surprising all the students with my bloody robe and chains, but I'm helping you all out as you experience growing pains. Now Helena ran away to fair Albania with her mother's diadem and my unrequited love. Rowena, her great mother, sent me to get her back, but instead of coming peacefully, I went on the attack. Helena's blunt refusal infuriated me. I stabbed her several times with a knife, as you can see. I knew I did the wrong thing and stabbed myself to death. Now I wear these chains as penance for what little I have left. I'm the Bloody Baron whom you see every day, haunting all the halls and making merriment and gay, surprising all the students with my bloody robe and chains. But I'm helping you all out as you experience growing pains. I'm the bloody baron whom you see every day, haunting all the halls and making merriment and gay, surprising all the students with my bloody robe and chains. But I'm helping you all out as you experience growing pains. I'm the bloody baron whom you see every day, haunting all the halls and making merriment and gay, surprising all the students with my bloody robe and chains. But I'm helping you all out as you experience growing pains.
So good. Just out of nowhere. Out of nowhere. So welcome to the community. We're so glad to have you. Keep making music because it's so good. So anyway, this brings us to our final song of the evening. This is the original Potter Watch submission, but ended up being the last song on the album because you'll see why. And this is the other Odo the Hero song. So yeah, very cool that we had like so many interlocking themes throughout this. Yeah, and it was really, really fun. So anyway, this is Potter Watch, the Ballad of Odo the Hero.
And Odo the hero, they bore him back home to the place that he known as a man. They laid him to rest with his hat inside out, and his body stabbed into which was sad.
When the founders were young, there were not 4 but 5, and from bottom came Odo the Great. Though his magic was sung up while he was alive, they forgot him when he met his fate. He enchanted his hat, so that when it was worn, every skill he desired he could gain. But he told no one that, fearing he'd be forsworn, since his hat had such power but no brain. And Odo the hero, they bore him back home, to the place that he'd known as a lad. They laid him to rest with his hat inside out, and with one snapped into which was sad. He created such spells no one else could repeat, in the great hall where all see the skies. And the 3 Peverels, 3 magnificent feats, but they soon spell untimely demise. He sought Helga's advice when his fortitude failed, on enchantment dysfunction unique. With her casting precise, his condition unveiled, diagnosis too awful to speak. Odo was dying every time he cast, each spell cast with his hat, it drained his life. How mystifying that he never asked, in master workings past, what was the price? And Odo the hero, they bore him back home, to the place that he'd known as a lad. They laid him to rest with his hat inside out, and his wand snapped into which was sad.
Odo's cap then he doffed, and he severed the spell that connected his magic and soul. Then he held it aloft, and from handprints soon fell silver droplets he saved in a bowl. Odo turned out his cap, and the vessel he gave filled with remnants of triumph and death. And his wand which he snapped to the founders so brave, as he charged them with his final breath. Beloved colleagues, take the last of me, in millinery I'll ever dwell. I'll sort each student who puts me on their head, long after I'm dead. Now friends, farewell. And Odo the hero, they bore him back home, to the place that he'd known as a lad. They laid him to rest with his hat inside out, and his wand snapped in two. Oh, you may not think I'm pretty, but don't judge on what you see. There's nothing hidden in your head old Odo can't see.
It's so good. It's so good. So some of these songs I listened to well before, like weeks before the the comp releases. Some I listen to like the day before, which is usually when I edit and make sure that everything sounds good. And this was one of those songs that I listened to just yesterday for the first time. And I was sitting here next to Dee Dee, and I was like, I literally have chills. Do you see the goosebumps? Everywhere on my body, the goosebumps. He was like, yeah, I mean, it's incredible. So it was, it's just so good. So I was like editing yesterday and I was tweeting about it. And one of the things that I said was like, JKR ain't got nothing on Wizard Rock. And like, that was specifically what I was talking about. Cause I was like, there's no way anyone could have come up with something that brilliant. Just leave it to Potter Watch to do something that incredibly amazing. So yeah, anyway, so that is going to do it for our Hut on the Rock 2 Shanties from the Shack. I'm going to edit a real quick, what's it called? Typo. And then I think it's going to be good. So yeah, I will publish it now. Aha, here it is. All right. So this is free to download, as are all of the comps that I do. Here's the link. Have fun listening and share it with all your friends and all of that good stuff. Thank you again for everybody who submitted a song or two songs to this comp. It came out absolutely incredible, and I'm so continuously grateful and thankful for being part of this community, and I just love you all so much, and this comp makes me very happy, as does the first one. So if you haven't listened to the first one, go check that out too. They're both on my page, both on my Bandcamp. So yeah, they're just so good. And yeah, the next project, if you haven't heard about it yet, is that I'm putting together a compilation of fandom songs that are not about Harry Potter. So if you're interested in that, shoot me a message on any social media and I'll tell you more. But also the Wizard Rock Revival group in Facebook has all the information for that as well. And I don't have a deadline for that yet. I think maybe December, January release date-ish, but it's like any fandom you want except for Harry Potter. Just a little thing that we're trying to test out. So yeah, I'm really excited about doing that. But yeah, see you on the internet, I guess. But thank you all for being here and have a great rest of your evening. Bye. Oh wait, yeah. Sagan said if you haven't signed up for the Wizrocklopedia Comp Club yet, it's so good, so good. So Google Wizrocklopedia Compilation Club because it's 100% worth it, and I've been a part of that as well, and it's so good. But yeah. Anyway, good night, everybody.